This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a collection of iconic cricket items have found their way to Invercargill thanks to Russell Crowe getting divorced. A Dunedin woman is one of just 6 people from around the world chosen to take part in a residency in the US. And a Queenstown firefighter is enjoying some well-earned rest after 12 days fighting a wildfire in Tasmania. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. When Russell Crowe decided to auction off a variety of his personal belongings to help fund his divorce, few would guess it would lead to Invercargill hosting some of the most iconic items in the history of New Zealand cricket. But that's exactly what happened, and now the city is set to be the first home outside of Wellington's Basin Reserve to showcase the items at the temporary home of the New Zealand Cricket Museum.
Unpacking some of New Zealand cricket's most prized possessions. Staff at Invercargill's Bill Richardson Transport World busy setting up the New Zealand Cricket Museum after it was shipped down south from its home in Wellington. It all came about when they helped New Zealand cricket obtain the bat Martin Crowe used to score his last century with, which was being auctioned off by his famous cousin Russell to help pay for his divorce.
When we did that, they talked about how they were going to be making some changes to their museum at the Basin Reserve, and so we just sort of did a deal to bring the cricket collection down here for a little while they were doing their renovations.
The museum is set to be housed in Invercargill for the next 8 months. Some of the marquee items include a bat signed by both Sir Donald Bradman and Martin Crowe from Crowe's 1997 testimonial, and the only major trophy the New Zealand men's side has ever won, the ICC Knockout Trophy from 2000.
Well, it's just really nice to be able to offer our visitors a different type of experience here at Transport World. We are conscious that if we want locals to come back, then we have to be offering different variety of collections for them to view. So, yeah, we're really happy that it's come down here.
The museum will officially be opened at an event later this month by legendary Southland sportsman Brian McKechnie, the man who faced the infamous underarm delivery in 1981.
We're going to go an underarm. We haven't believed it. And that's a disappointing finish. Disappointed Brian McKechnie, the crowd boo.
There'll be that, there'll be a lot more, there'll be the infamous penalty in the All Blacks as well. I mean, Brian McKechnie, he is a double All Black, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of stories that night.
Tickets for the opening are currently on sale, with the museum expected to be housed in Invercargill until October. Ben Waterworth, The South Today.
The New Zealand woman killed in an avalanche in the Italian Alps has been identified as originally coming from Dunedin. She has been named by international media as 39-year-old Catherine Clark. She was due to celebrate her 9th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Clark is among 4 people found dead after an avalanche near the Italian resort of Courmayeur. The quartet had been missing since about midday on Sunday. The Telegraph reports the group are believed to have been buried under nearly 2 metres of snow. A Dunedin woman is one of just 6 garden professionals from around the world chosen to take part in a year-long residency in the United States. Barbara Wheeler from the Dunedin Botanic Gardens is set to take part in the prestigious Longwood Gardens Fellow Program in Pennsylvania.
Not much time left to enjoy her place of work at the Dunedin Botanic Garden. Barbara Wheeler's been in her current role here for 16 years, but is now set to join 6 other horticulturists from around the world for a year-long residency at the Longwood Gardens in Pennsylvania.
It's an interesting course. It's very much geared towards public gardens, which is what makes it fabulous. It's one of the very few courses at this high level that are specifically run about public gardens in the world. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting course.
The 140-hectare Longwood Gardens attract up to 1.5 million visitors a year. The fellowship has been running there since 1967 and aims to produce an opportunity for gardening professionals to develop their leadership skills. Wheeler says the selection process started off with having to write 3 essays on different topics.
So that was around where I want to be in 5 and 10 years' time, what are the key challenges in the horticulture industry at the moment, and where I see myself as a leader in public horticulture.
She was then flown with 11 others to the USA as a continuation of the selection process.
We were all interviewed as one team together and went through everything together. So as part of that, we had to do things like group challenges to see how we fitted in with group dynamics.
Wheeler's set to begin her course at Longwood Gardens in June. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
3 young children were found wandering barefoot and alone around Dunedin early this morning. The children, aged 4, 3 and 2, were found by members of the public walking on Addisons Bay Road at around 5:30. They're believed to be siblings. Police say they took the trio back to a Melbourne Street address where a man, understood to be their father, was home at the time. The incident has been referred to Oranga Tamariki. A Queenstown firefighter is enjoying some well-earned rest and recreation after 12 days helping fight a vast wildfire in Tasmania. Bobby Lamont got home on Sunday after being deployed to the southwest of the island, where fires continue to rage across 50,000 hectares of largely steep and remote country.
Queenstown firefighter Bobby Lamont back home after spending nearly 2 weeks helping fight a vast wildfire in Tasmania. About 70 fires have been burning since late December. Based in Hobart, his role was to plan ahead in order to protect resources a couple of days before the fire arrived.
It's very much defensive firefighting. Just with the fire conditions, it was a lot of the time it was too dangerous to get firefighters too close.
Lamont's the Deputy Principal Rural Fire Officer for Central Otago and was one of 7 incident managers in a 28-strong team from New Zealand. They were among 600 firefighters involved, including professional and volunteer personnel from Queensland, Victoria and New South Wales, as well as Tasmania.
Yeah, we had a great working relationship, and I think maybe 2 or 3 job offers to stay on while I was there. So no, great people, really great place. So yeah, we were pretty privileged to go over and help out.
But the job certainly isn't done yet.
They're predicting it to go out for at least another 6 to 8 weeks. And at this stage, it's not about putting the fire out, it's more about controlling it and protecting assets and some natural resources around the place and key infrastructures.
A second rotation of incident managers is already in Tasmania, while more remote area firefighters are also likely to be sent out soon. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we see footage of a large roadside fire near Christchurch, and a former refugee from Somalia gets honoured for his work in Canterbury.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. You come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Welcome back. Police are seeking a man after an alleged aggravated robbery at an Oamaru motel last night. Police were called to the Ascot Oamaru motel just after 8 o'clock. It was reported a man with a weapon entered the motel's reception area and demanded staff open the cash register. He fled the scene with a small amount of cash. Police believe he may have had an accomplice who waited outside while the robbery was carried out. A team from Dunedin was travelling to Oamaru this morning to conduct a scene examination. Inquiries are continuing. Emergency services were forced to close State Highway 1 in Templeton near Christchurch yesterday following a large fire. The blaze was ignited by a passing train. Large volumes of smoke covered the highway, forcing its closure. New Zealand Transport Agency says motorist diversions were in place. A spokesman for Fire and Emergency New Zealand says multiple crews are at the scene working to extinguish the blaze. They were assisted by 4 firefighters and 2 fire trucks from Burnham Military Camp who were dispatched to Templeton by the New Zealand Defence Force. The man behind several refugee organisations in Canterbury has been honoured for his work. Ahmed Tani is himself a former refugee from Somalia who fled his country's ongoing civil war in the 1990s. After 20 years helping refugee communities, he's been made an officer in the New Zealand Order of Merit.
Imagine you sleep safely in the night, and in the morning you wake up with a blood and gun. A civil war started. Government was killing the people. People was killing the government people. And then everywhere was closed and you ran away. With no food, no money, no clothes. You walk all the way down until you reach a safe place. That's where I came from, Somalia. All the way down there, from here, all the way down there. It takes 5-6 months. Oh, yes, it happened. Imagine you was walking and a snake was hitting you and the people, they died. Are you looking the snake or are you looking the gun? So there's 2 enemies. You are in between 2 enemies. You cannot see even who is walking beside you. You're walking, you're running by yourself. You never know that, if you are died or if you are survived. Some of the people, I remember that the people, they was running from the gun, they take a small boat and they died in the sea, all the people, because they are overloading the boat to run away, I will lose a lot of friends, yes. Yeah, a lot of friends. Yes, I lose a family as well. Yeah, a brother. He was actually died in in the conflict. You know, it's really very sad, you know, situation. My passion is to help the people and to support those who need support. I am organizing and chairing all the activities here for the center. For the last 8 years in Canterbury, in Christchurch, there was a lot of family reunification came here. And we settled them and we connect to the neighbors. Not only that, we said you have to connect to your neighbor because we want to integrate into mainstream society and to understand the culture. What we are starting in 2007 to visit every family. Knock the door, they welcome to us. We ask, you know, their own issues. What's the issues? What the problems you have? And integration started from these two different cultures to mingle, to know each other more. Sometimes, you know, they call me 2 o'clock in the morning when they have got an issue. I never say no because I know the journey and I know the pain and I understand. So we go and we try to help and we help. And I'm enjoying actually to help the people. That is my actually, that's what I believe. People first.
After the break on the South Today, we hear about the inaugural New Zealand Young Farmers Conference held in Christchurch, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence.
Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Welcome back. Dunedin already looks full for Elton John a year out from his arrival. Most booking websites are showing no available rooms for the night, despite Dunedin venues only announcing the show on Sunday. The shortage could be exacerbated by the week-long Masters Games, starting on the 1st of February. Otago Motel Association President Alex Greenan says the overlap with the Masters Games isn't helpful. But Eyesight Dunedin manager Louise van de Vlierd says accommodation won't be an issue for the weekend of the concert. New research has found joining organisations such as Clubs for Young Farmers is good for mental health. The findings of a FarmStrong survey have been unveiled at the inaugural New Zealand Young Farmers Conference in Christchurch.
In a first for the agri sector, farmers have taken part in a well-being survey. The results were released at the recent inaugural New Zealand Young Farmers Conference held in Christchurch.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really interesting presentation. So FarmStrong have just done some research amongst young people in the farming industry. Quite an extensive research, and about 44% of the people they interviewed were actually Young Farmers members.
Nearly 1,000 farmers under 35 were surveyed by the FarmStrong group. Coppersmith says the findings show belonging to organisations like Young Farmers help people to feel part of a team.
But what it identified was how much of an issue it is for young people, mental health issues and coping with some of the things that come their way and resilience and so on. But also what it did identify is that being a member of Young Farmers and having those social connections really does help them to cope when things are becoming a little bit tough. So it was really encouraging to hear that.
Coppersmith is the first female chief executive in the organisation's history and was appointed towards the end of last year. She says one of the threats to the agricultural sector is from alternative forms of protein, like plant or insect-based foods, which she finds interesting, if a little hard to swallow.
One of probably the most interesting ones that I struggle with is the anteater people who are all about eating insects. And so there's a thinking that insects will become a big source of protein for the world in the future. They're low impact on the environment, and they can be ground up and put into all sorts of things. So they'll be talking a little bit about some of the innovations in that space.
Stock events were held outside, with sheep and alpaca being on the menu, as cattle were still absent due to Mycoplasma bovis. In Canterbury, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. When Russell Crowe decided to auction off his personal belongings to help fund his divorce, it helped to bring some of cricket's most iconic items to Invercargill. A Dunedin woman is one of just 6 garden professionals from around the world chosen to take part in a year-long residency in the United States. And a Queenstown firefighter is enjoying some well-earned rest and recreation after 12 days helping fight a vast wildfire in Tasmania. And time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Philip.
Yes, hi Sophie. Photos are always an important part of the ODT and the spirit of New Zealand coming into Dunedin. A great picture from Stephen Jackery.
Right.
Now Tyree College, rather big this year, includes years 7 and 8, but 1,135 pupils, so here they are all captured in one shot. So there we go. Also pictures taken tonight of the Chinese New Year, all that's happening as we talk.
Yes.
Should mention that the bike trail from Cromwell to Clyde, through those cliffs and on the other side of the Lake Dunstan, some good news on progress there. Anna Campbell writes a column on the opinion page every fortnight. She's returned after a small break, so she's always very good, so look for that. And Annabelle Langbine, one of the many features on on fresh, and the line for her column is many forms of delicious. So that sounds great, doesn't it?
Sounds delicious. Well, thank you, Philip. All of that and more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Molmap.
Beginning with a southern view, taken of the Pailau in front of Dunedin's Chinese Gardens. Looking at the situation, a cold day tomorrow, but warmer days are on the way for Thursday and Friday, and a hot weekend with gusty northwesterlies is lining up. Starting off with the southern towns, expect slight southerlies and mostly fine weather. Balclutha, the Catlins, Lumsden and Gore are aiming for 14-degree highs. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, light southerlies becoming fine. Wanaka and Queenstown are expecting 15 degrees. Alexandra is heading for 16, while Te Anau is mostly fine on 14 degrees. To the northern towns, plan for decreasing southwesterlies and cloudy conditions. Timaru is aiming for 15 degrees and Oamaru 14. Marama and Twizel should have light southerlies, becoming fine and 16-degree highs. In Dunedin, fine tonight with breezy southwesterlies and an overnight low of 9. Mostly cloudy with a few sunny periods late in the day tomorrow. Cold with fresh breezy southwest winds slowly dying out. A high of 14 and an overnight low of 5. Mostly fine and sunny on Thursday and Friday with breezy northeasterlies and milder temperatures. A high of 16 and a low of 9. In Invercargill, fine and cool tonight with southwesterlies becoming light, an overnight low of 10. Fine tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, cool with moderate southwest winds, aiming for a high of 13 and a low of 5. Milder on Thursday and Friday with sunny skies and northerly winds developing, a high of 17 degrees and a low of 8. That's all for our news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.